Yo. What is the deal? Remington Steel. Quinn, what up, blood? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, bud? Eon, what up? Remember I asked you if you would collab with Cigar Talk? Nah, I don't remember you asking me that, but we're not collabing. He's just coming on saying, what's up? You know what? Hold on. I'm going to get another drink. Give me 1 second. All right. There we go. Back. Gotta quench that thirst. So what's the deal? What's the deal, people? What is the deal? What's up, CJ? This is what it sounds like when sophisticated thugs cry. All right. Fuck it. Jay, what up, Jay? Jay Gutter. Get that money. Word up. That your thing, they say that's a New York thing, right? Now, you guys know I'm born and raised in New York City. But I'm 48, so that was not a thing when I was coming up. But is that like, that's like a New York thing now, right? The you're, that sounds mad Southern to me. Like, you're, I don't know. That's just me. What's up, Warlock? Never seen you drink water. It's not water. It's seltzer. Punk ass. Get your fucking eyes checked. I don't know, but there's a chance I get a little more insight on that, which I will share soon if I get the insight on it. What up, Oh, I like the MB. What is that? What is that? My blind ass. What's that? Is that a snake and a glove? I like it. It's dope, but is that a snake and a glove? What is that? Yeah, I'm going to talk to Naji if he comes in, which I think he will. He said he will. I don't know that much about him, about his background. We're going to do a quick little background check on him, where he came from, what he does, who he is, and we're going to talk a little boxing. Marco, better than all these other boxing channels. Appreciate you. I wish I was making money and getting views like these other boxing channels, but it's coming. It's coming. That's what I'm saying, motherfucker. I never see you drink regular water. I drink a lot of seltzer. Like, I'll drink water in this. Actually, I drink more seltzer than anything, but I drink water too. You know what? When I'm boxing, like, I just did 10 rounds today. First time in like 3-4 days because I was sick. I did 10 rounds. I can't drink seltzer when I'm boxing. Can't be like, the seltzer gets you all full. I'm like burping in between rounds. Nah. So when I exercise, I drink water. I drink a whole cock diesel thing of water. Oh, it's a dragon and a boxing. That's dope. Appreciate you. Catching bullets with his teeth. Please. You said the N-word if I can't. That's such a dope fucking movie. Drummond. I know I've asked you this, but you're around my age range, right? You must be. Nand. Oh, what up, blood? Marco, where's Polo? You know that every time I go into a fucking Starbucks or anywhere where they say your name, like, especially if you think about Starbucks, right? You put your order, and then when your drink's ready, they say the name with like a question format behind it. So you know how many times, every time somebody says my name with a question behind it, what do you think happens? You got a bunch of jerk-offs saying Polo who think I've never heard that before. Not you, man. I know I'm just saying in general. Sparkling water. I only drink sparkling, baby. You never heard of cock diesel? Not cocked. Like cocked. Let me tell you what it comes back from. When you're cocked back, it's dudes who are so jacked, they're walking like this, like their shoulders are cocked back. That's what it came back from. That's what it comes from. That's some old New York shit, though. You don't know that. You're too young. What up, Marco? I don't catch you live. I still get you. I appreciate you. Hopefully you hit the thumbs up. What do you think Tank will fight next? And we going to fight next? It's a great question. Who will he fight next? Who do we want? I want to see him fight Shakur still. Or rematch Lamont. I think he's going to fight Jake Paul. I think that's what they were about to announce personally, but those are the two non-Turkey. They both defected from the land of Turkey. I guess you can't defect if you're never a part of it. They formed their own rebel. They formed their own rebel nation against Turkey. So those are the only two stars that don't fuck with Turkey. Really, that's it. Jake and Tank, Canelo and Ryan both fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. Let's see. What time? 10. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna be getting up early tomorrow. I rewatched HSNEY versus Ryan. He was doing really good, but until he could not deflect the left. All right. Lamont Roach was too much of a close call. Now he will fight a 126-pounder. Maybe. If you got a draw against a great fighter like Tank, you would want it changed to a no contest. That's what I'm saying. Shakur may never get the Tank fight. Turkey kind of single-handedly running it by trying to troll Tank. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see some. All right. See, Rich, what up, blood? Appreciate you, my brother. Let's hit you with the for the goal. I don't know what these 2s, 5s, and 10s add up to. I appreciate you. Not familiar with Cigar Talk. He's you'll recognize him. He interviews a lot. He just I believe he got a Crawford interview just now. And he got also, didn't he just do a Shakur interview, I believe? Explain why no contest is better than a draw. It's a great question. That I'm unaware of. Here's what I think. I've told you guys this. I believe that they thought that maybe the knockdown, they were unaware of the process. That's what I'm thinking. They thought maybe that knockdown can actually be scored, and then that would change the score of the fight and give him a win. That's what I'm thinking. That was the initial thought behind doing this. That's my guess. And then he found out that he can't. He found out that it's just going to be, turned. It's going to be wiped into a no contest. Sorry, I'm getting some messages here. Let me turn my phone off. Then he found that out. So I think initially he was trying to do one thing and it turned out to be something else. That's what I thought. Marco, Dana White and Turkey sign boxing might be like the UFC. I don't think it'll be, good. That's what it needs. Fatal Fury card's dope. I hope I get some goddamn seats up in that bitch. A no contest to me is like the fight never happened. At least a draw, you matched up your opponent. Word. I wonder who had the most draws ever. It's a great question. Remington, what up, blood? Jake Paul and Tank trying to show Turkey they're the attraction of boxing. That's what I'm thinking. I think they might fight. Fatal Fury cards, Friday and Saturday. I wonder what the undercards for the Canelo fights are. Wouldn't you want to keep it a draw so you could say, hey, I got a draw against Ali? Again, I believe that they were unsure of what this process was going to entail. That's what I think. I think they just didn't know. But, you know, what do I know? Is Fury on that card or just called that? Nah, he's not on it. It's just called that. CJ Rich. Tank versus Jake is trash and a disgrace to real boxing. Well, maybe, but I think it's going to happen. Salute. Marco, a.k.a. Markeo. What's up? TKO cards will be stacked from top to bottom like UFC cards. They know how to build these fan bases for their guys. True. True that. True that. True that. True that. That's a fact. That is a fact. CJ Rich. All right. I can't wait for the May 2nd card. Yeah, that'll be fun. How is Bud moving up to 168 to fight Canelo not a disgrace to boxing? It's a disgrace? I wouldn't say it's a disgrace. I mean, a lot of people think Bud has a shot, especially after the Errol Spence fight. You know what I mean? Rolly for the upset. Unlikely. 29 people. I know, man. Only 29. We got to get this shit popping. We should have damn near 80 to 100 like we had this afternoon. So Turkey's building a league like you wanted. It seems that way. He is with Dana White. Now, I don't know if Dana White's a good thing or a bad thing. I know that Dana White is a good thing in terms of he's going to bring experience and credibility. So that's good. Rolly is going to catch him, watch Marco. Okay. I don't see this changes anything. Fighters will still have the ability to step in and out. Somebody again. Okay. What's up, Robert? My custom Rolly shirt come. Okay. I feel you. I feel you. Come on, Marco. You know Spence wasn't a hundo when fought Bud. Not. I agree, but I still think it was such a lopsided ass whooping that I don't think him being a hundo would have changed the outcome much. Maybe a little, but not much. Really a real one. He's a real one? Okay. One thing I can say about the UFC, it feels as though it's bigger than boxing because the fights they have. What you mean? How's it bigger than boxing? Explain that one to me. That one I don't understand. That one I don't get. How's it bigger than boxing? Hold on a second. I gotta charge my fucking phone. How is it bigger than boxing? Bud would have beat Spence no matter what. That's what I'm saying. Waste no time. Get them likes up. Everybody subscribe. Tell them, Victor. Tell them. I never said it was bigger than boxing. Dana can build a brand, but you can't implement UFC model in boxing. Word. In the UFC, the best have to fight. In boxing, that does not always happen. Okay. Not even going to elaborate. Okay. Spence would have gotten B2A 100%. B2A? Is that another? You guys with these fucking acronyms. What's B2A? That sounds like an R&B group. Did anyone hear if this will now lock out all of the promotions from Turkey's money? I don't know. I'm glad I'm a hardcore UFC boxing fan. Our face of UFC fights this Saturday. Belt to ass. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mikhail, what up? I'm uploading that clip. Okay. I'll agree with Eon. UFC makes every card feel important. They really push their events. They're a league. They're a league with a structure. They're a league with a structure. So, of course, they're going to push their events when they're a league with a structure. You know what I'm saying? What up, Naji?
Marco, What's
Chilling.
up, man? What's going
Chilling,
on?
man. How you doing?
Man, amazing, bro. I'm blessed. I like the Kronk hoodie. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Shout out to Emmanuel Stewart.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I got no ties to Detroit, but the shit looks dope.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm hearing a little feedback on your side.
Little feedback.
Yeah, I'm hearing my voice.
All right, hold on one second. Hold on.
So, okay.
All right, let's try now. How about now?
Beautiful.
All right,
So I appreciate you coming on. So for people who are unfamiliar with you, I want to kind of just a quick little background on you, and then we'll get into some boxing talk. So I'm still hearing myself in the background again.
You still in the background? Hold on.
Yeah, everything I'm saying is being echoed.
I don't know what's going on. I haven't fired up my live.
Now you're muted. There you go.
All right, how about now? Is it echoing now?
Microphone check 1 2. Beautiful. Done.
All
right, man. So first off, where are you from?
I'm from Queens, man. Queens, New York originally. Jamaica, Queens.
Queens get the money.
You know that.
My father was from Flushing. I grew up in Hell's Kitchen myself, but I used to spend a lot of time in Queens coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had some friends in Flushing. I used to go over there get some Asian food. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you go there for. That makes sense. Makes sense. So Cigar Talk, is this your brand, or is it something that you work for? I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah, this is me, man. Cigar Talk. This is me, my brand, something I came up with.
Okay.
And something I've cultivated, throughout the years, and it's kind of changed and shifted to what it is today. But I own Cigar Talk outright.
Okay, so did you start? Because I remember I could have swore I heard that you started not doing boxing. Is that correct? What did you start doing with Cigar Talk?
Yeah, definitely correct. So I started off. I work my day job is in music. So I work for Sony Records.
Oh,
and when I started Cigar Talk initially, I was interviewing rappers. I was interviewing artists, just a lot of rappers. I've interviewed a couple of big rappers like 50 Cent, Nicki Minaj,
nice.
Little Durk. If you name it, I probably spoke to them. You know what I mean? I've interviewed a lot of big artists and rappers. And I did that because one, I love rap. Like my two passions are boxing and rap music. You know what I mean? Those are my two passions. But in my process of trying to get to work for a record label, I was applying for a lot of jobs, and I wasn't getting hired. Nobody would hire me, man. I'm filling out applications every day. I'm like, damn, I know if I get in this, I could do, I could flourish. So I was like, yo, I need to do something that is conducive to people being able to see, like, yo, I can make things shake, because me just sending the resume is not working. So I was like, yo, I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm going to interview rappers, and then these labels are going to see it and, give me a job.
When did that start? When did you kick off Cigar Talk? What year?
I started in 2017.
Okay. I never see you smoking cigars, though. You smoke cigars?
Yeah, I do smoke cigars. So I haven't smoked on air in a while, because when I got my first, I started the show initially because that was the concept, right? Like I would take I would have cigars for myself and the guest, and we would smoke cigars and shoot the shit, right? Like it's just a different vibe when you got a cigar, you got a drink, like it just kind of manufactures a different energy. And that was the concept of the show. But once I started to actually get views, I think I hit my first 1 million views. And YouTube, my ads, they started demonetizing my videos for tobacco content.
What?
I would just keep getting demonetized like every video. And I started trying to make changes, like, damn, maybe if I take the cigars out, it'll actually, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened. I stopped smoking cigars, and then I got my monetization back. And I was thinking, like, damn, maybe I should change the name because I'm not smoking cigars anymore. But the name is so popular amongst fans that it was like everybody knew me as Cigar Talk. Like I'll be outside walk in, somebody like, yo, Cigar Talk, you know, but they don't
Right.
they never say Naji. Like, my name is Naji. People don't be like, yo, Naji, what up? They're like, yo, Cigar Talk, what's up?
Right.
So I was just like, yo, I kind of just got to keep it going just because everybody knew Cigar Talk.
Okay. Okay. And then so at what point did you start shifting to boxing?
I would say my first real year of like I'm 100% committed to boxing was 2024. Last year. That was the first year where I'm like, I'm just only going to do boxing content from now on. So, but prior to that, I've interviewed a few different boxers, you know, in the space where I was doing music and rap. But yeah, 2024 was the first year I decided to make the full
Okay.
switch.
And now you're just doing straight boxing.
Straight boxing, man. That's it.
Okay.
Straight boxing.
Do you have any background did you ever fight, spar, anything?
Yeah, I sparred, you know, mostly I just had fights in the street, you know what I'm saying? I had a couple fights in the street, like, you know what I mean? Just
Right.
being from the neighborhood. But
Yeah.
I spent about 2 years training in boxing. There was a boxing gym called K2 Boxing Club that I used to go to back in the day. So I used to spar, you know what I mean? So I sparred a couple guys, but I never took it to the point of like, you know, I'm an amateur or I'm trying to go pro or nothing like that. It's just something like, you know, I always just really had a love for the sport since I was a kid. And yeah.
Okay. Dope. All right. Well, that's a little refresher background for my viewers. So man, let's get into a little bit of boxing. I guess let's touch on what's fresh out the frying pan, which is is taking a knee after getting 2 jabs hitting your eyeball. Is that a knockdown?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a knockdown for me. You know, people can debate whether or not the punch landed, right? Like the jab, like it was a punch before that he landed. You know, the jab was very close, right? So maybe it landed, maybe it didn't. It's hard to really tell from the footage I saw. But overall, I think regardless of that, if it landed or not, I'm from the school of if you take a knee, that's a knockdown. You know what I mean? I don't think you're, you know, in a position to call timeout, right? Like the referee is the only one who can stop the action.
Yeah.
And I've definitely seen fights in the past where guys have taken a knee and they got called for a knockdown. So yeah, I definitely had that one as a knockdown for sure.
Absolutely. And you know, I had Arthur Mercanti on. You know who that is, obviously, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He actually reffed my first pro fight. He reffed me, weirdly enough, but that's a whole different story. So I had him on and we talked about it, you know, and I got his, and I this caused me to do a lot of digging, you know, because I'm like, at first I'm like, no. A knee is always a knockdown. You willingly take a knee, that's a knockdown across, but there's no rules, right? You go by the ABC, Association of Boxing Commissions. They have a rule book that state athletic commissions follow loosely, but those are suggested rules, right?
Yep.
There's nothing about taking a knee in the ABC rules. Then I go to the New York State Athletic Boxing Commission. They don't even have rules. Arthur Mercanti had a book that he was given in 1984 that loosely has some rules, nothing about taking a knee.
Wow.
And then you go, the last thing that would hold any kind of weight would be if it's for any kind of a belt, whatever sanctioning body it was. This was, I think it was for a belt, right? WBC, I believe.
Yeah, WBA.
Hey, they also, you go to their website, boxing rules, you click on it, it directs you to the ABC rules. So what it turns out is this: what the ref says is gold. The ref has the full authority to make any decision he deems fit at the time. People say, well, Tank's trainer jumped on the apron. That's a disqualification. And I'm trying to explain to people, the wording is so important. That is grounds for a disqualification. But if the ref doesn't want to disqualify, he doesn't. So long story short, it turns out that the ref does what they want. They just have suggestions. So it wasn't illegal what the ref did. Even though it doesn't follow any precedent we've seen. There's been a couple fights where dudes have taken knees and like, so I think Chop Corley did it for his cup was something was wrong with his cup and then the ref didn't call it a knockdown. But 99.9% of the time, it is a knockdown.
Yeah.
But legally, the shit, it's not. It's whatever the ref deems it to be. And the ref deemed it not to be. So it's not. So I don't think they're going to overturn anything, personally. What do you think?
I agree, man. I don't really see this being overturned. Also just the politics of it, right? Like, to be honest, to be completely transparent, I think that economics matter in the sport of boxing, right? Like, so when you got a guy like Tank Davis who is going to pay a percentage of whatever the purse is for sanctioning fees, I dare say that, the organizations wouldn't be in their best interest financially to try to make those decisions and push for those, to try to push the New York State Athletic Commission. But I agree with you, man. Like, I've definitely seen moments where guys have gotten in the ring and haven't gotten disqualified. Like, remember Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah fight? He got low blowed and Uncle Roger came up there.
They all ran in,
He got in the ring. You know what I mean? Not just on the apron. He got in the ring.
Yeah.
And that became a whole thing. And he didn't get disqualified. Floyd didn't get disqualified for that. So, but I guess for me, where I make the distinction is, one, it was really the fact that it's not just the knee. I think the knee, to me, a knee is always questionable for a knockdown. But I think the knee and then wiping the eye is like, I just don't think, we've seen Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis where there's something in his eye and you got to wait to the end of the round to flush it out. You can't just call a timeout.
That was Sonny Liston. He just
Sonny Liston. I said Joe Louis. Yeah, Sonny Liston. Exactly.
He danced around the ring and took his ass whooping until the shit wore off. Whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm with
Absolutely.
you. I'm with you. And generally a dude will hold and say, "Yo, ref, there's something in my eye." Or he'll get enough distance from the fighter and say, "Yo, ref, call the T." There's something. He doesn't just. I really believe Tank was cool with taking a 10-8 round. I think that's what he thought was going to happen when he took that knee. But because I wasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't tell the ref, "Don't give me a 10-8." The ref decided, "Nah, okay, I won't count." Or am I wrong?
No, I don't think so. I think initially he just did it, and then he ran over to the corner, right? So, like, I think the ref started counting initially, and then you see the point where he wipes his face, and then he turns around and says whatever he said to the ref. I couldn't make out what was said, but I know up until the point where the face was wiped, they didn't have the ref and Tank didn't speak.
Nah, and then he just and so I believe Tank was okay with taking the knee because personally, I believe Tank was a little off that fight mentally. I never seen him argue so much with a ref. I mean, he got popped a couple times because he was talking to the ref, and you know what I'm saying? I saw that. I saw him starting slower than usual, even for him. And then taking the knee. It seemed like he was in his own head. It seemed like, maybe his eyes were burning a little bit. Then the jab hit him, and it made him get in his own head and thinking, "Oh, fuck, like if I get hit with one more of these, I'm already burning. Let me take a second." And he took the knee. So fuck it. So, okay. Does he win the fight without the knockdown being counted? Let's just how it is. Do you think Roach won that fight?
I had it a draw. If I scored it without the knockdown, I scored it a draw. I had it 6 apiece in a draw. I think, for me, and again, I can't necessarily remember which rounds. I think leading up to 6, I might have had it 4-2 Tank or maybe 3-3. I forget now, but I know I had like Tank to me, he was in control of most of those early rounds. I think the super, like I remember round 1, Tank didn't really do too much. I think I just gave it to Lamont for just pressing forward. I think he landed a couple jabs, things like that. But round 7 is where the fight started to really switch.
Yeah.
And Lamont started really sitting in there. And I think that his counter shots really put Tank in a position that he hasn't had to be in, right? Like he's got a guy that one is because his guard is so tight, right? Lamont just has a really tight guard. There aren't many openings, on Lamont in terms of just like you trying to catch the opening. So it's like you got to force these things to happen. And a lot of times when I seen Gervonta trying to force it, Lamont was throwing counters right in the middle of his shots. And I feel like that made Tank a lot more tentative than I've ever seen him. Absolutely. I think even that moment in I think it was round 8 or 9 where Tank landed his shot. He landed a big left hand on Lamont. Lamont took it, kind of rolled with it and came back, boom, and Tank stumbled. And I think that was a pivotal moment, even though, I think Tank still did well at the end of the round, but that was a pivotal moment to me where it was like Lamont is letting I'm taking a stand, and everything that you fire with, I'm going to fire back with some shit. And I just think that Tank hasn't been used to having a guy that, has all of those things, presented to him when he's firing and this guy's firing back.
It was his, I agree with you. It was his chin. He also employed some slick tactics on rolling with the punches, taking some steam off of him. Yep. His chin was dope too. Lamont, as you said, he was punching with Tank. And you can only do that if this is titanium. Otherwise, it's going to be a big problem.
Yep.
I do think Tank was a little off. Do you?
It's hard to say that. And I don't really like saying it because I feel like even saying that takes away from what Lamont did. I guess I could get why people would say that. But in the same token, the only reason I'm saying that would just be because of what happened prior to the fight, right? Like press conference stuff. The fight initially got moved back.
Yeah.
Then we had press conference where he was talking about retirement. So it was all the ancillary stuff more so than what I saw in the ring. To me, what I saw in the ring looked like Tank. I think that what we're all used to seeing is he did what he does in the beginning, which, he'll start off slow. He'll usually box. And then around rounds 5 and 6, we see him turn it up, which he did. But Lamont just responded in a way that was like, I'm not going to just let you Frank Martin me. You're not going to just start to walk me down. If we saw a majority of the fight, Lamont was walking him back, right? Like Tank was on his back foot majority of the fight. And I think the moments that Tank actually tried to, reverse it and put Lamont on his back foot, Lamont was ready to stand in there and he wasn't scared. I think a lot of people also have like the mental fear, like this is Tank, right? Who's a great fighter. We know the power. We know how many knockouts he's had. But I think Lamont fought like a guy that didn't really care about that at all. And so I don't know. I don't know if I could say it was a different Tank, to be honest.
I agree with everything you said, except the fact that I never seen him argue so much with a ref. I think he started slow even for him. And then the way he reacted to the eye, the whole knee thing to me. But either way, it was shocking. I think all of us were like, what the hell are we like? What are we seeing right now?
Yeah, you know what, Marco? It's crazy because I took a lot of heat on Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot. Twitter's my go-to app. I'm on Twitter pretty heavy. So I said it on Twitter, man. I made a statement on Twitter and I told people, I said, yo, listen, and this was maybe a week or two out from the fight. And I said, everybody's been shitting on this fight, but I don't think it's just gonna go the way y'all think it was gonna go. And I had a feeling, and not to say I didn't necessarily feel like I thought Lamont was gonna win, but I didn't think this was gonna be a fight that Tank just walks all over this guy and it doesn't present a challenge. So I kind of saw this in a way, not necessarily. Again, I think Lamont exceeded my expectations, but I did see this kind of in a way. I think the style is one that could present some problems for Tank.
Well, you must have a crystal ball in your house because I did not see this coming at all. At all. Well, all of us were like, what is this guy doing? A 30-pounder who Jamel Herring beat up? Come on. Like, no disrespect to Jamel, but he's just smaller. But so that was interesting. I was very impressed by Gary, whichever Russell. I get confused with all of them.
Gary Antoine.
He impressed me. So all right, so let's move on from that. What are your thoughts on this upcoming card that's going to be in Times Square?
Man. Yeah, listen, Turkey is moving like a guy that just won the lotto and he's like, fuck you to everybody. Yeah. And I like it. He's literally doing whatever he wants to do. I don't think I've ever seen there's no fights just in Times Square. No one's done that, right? Like we're talking MSG. I don't know, like in the middle of Times Square. I don't know how the logistics are going to go. I was at the press conference the other day. But I just think it's cool. I mean, I think logistically it's going to be a nightmare, to be honest. Like just being in Times Square, it's going to feel like the ball drop.
Yeah, you grew up. I literally Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if you're familiar with Hell's Kitchen, but I'm on 50th and 11th, so I was right around the corner from. And that's the last place I want to be because that's a nightmare when all those people gather and all that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be crazy. I think it's one of those things that just to say you did it, he's like doing things to say he did it at this point.
Right.
I think it's interesting. I mean, how good is it going to be for the fans that are there? I don't know, right? Like just from a standpoint of it's an elevated ring and we're just all standing on the ground, like looking up to the ring. I don't know logistically how
Yeah.
it's gonna go, to be honest, but
That's a good point.
I do think it's something cool about it though.
I'm not crazy about them putting a possible speed bump in the Ryan Haney rematch because one of them loses, we might not get that. I'm not crazy about that.
True.
You know what I mean?
Very.
Like, why is he doing that? The same
So
thing with
who do you
Crawford.
think has the best? Who do you think has the most chance of losing with their opponents, Devin and Ryan?
Probably Devin more so. More so. I think they're both going to win, but I think Devin
Yeah.
would be because Rolly's. But look, we don't know much about Ryan because we still have that possible PED contamination. Like, was that why he looked so good? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I
I'm not
mean?
mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
It's the same thing with Bud and Canelo. Like, why the fuck is Skull? I mean, I guess what to make it an undisputed, but like that could
Yeah.
ruin that whole fight too.
I think it's literally just to make it an undisputed fight, just so everyone can say, like, you know what I'm saying? This is the big undisputed one. Because, yeah, again, William Skull, man, come on, man.
Right.
What are we doing?
But that's what we thought about. Well, I guess you didn't, but that's what most of us thought about Roach.
Yeah. But I've seen Skull fight. He's going to get his ass kicked.
Well, what do you think? Why? What about? Because he looked pretty. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win, but he looked pretty good to me. He looked slick. What about him? Do you think makes you think he's going to get his ass whooped?
I just don't think the IQ is on the level of Canelo. I think, you know, I'm trying to remember who's the last guy I saw him fight, but he's biting on a lot of feints. Like he's a little twitchy, you know what I'm saying? Decent jab, but like I just don't see it. I think when Canelo starts to really walk him back and turn up the heat, I don't think he has the boxing skills to really sustain, right? And that's one thing about pressure fighters, because Canelo, I wouldn't say he's a traditional pressure fighter, more of a boxer puncher, right? But when he gets in that mode of like, I'm walking forward and nothing you can do to stop me, it's just very hard. You have to have a certain level of skill set or firepower to make him respect it. And I don't think Skull has either of those.
Okay, so let's jump into it then. I know you just interviewed Bud, right? That was you.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I watched that. What am I watched it. And I don't watch many, so it was dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, congrats. Now remove. I don't know how cool you are with Bud or whatever, but please remove any kind of bias or friendship you might have, and tell me how do you see that fight playing out.
Well, to be honest, first, I mean, I just met Bud recently, so we don't have. You know, it's cool, but it ain't like that ain't my man or nothing. But it's cool. You know, we have a cool relationship, I guess. But to be completely honest, I think Terrence Crawford is gonna beat him. I think Terrence Crawford is gonna beat him. Yeah, I think the only thing I've seen from Canelo as far as his kryptonite are guys that are able to move their feet, have a rangy jab, and then have the ability to withstand the IQ that he brings. And I think Terrence Crawford has all of those. If we're talking about this fight like 3 years ago, I think Canelo wins hands down. But I think he's slowed down enough to the point that a guy like Bud can beat him, right? Like the fights that are kind of coming to mind, obviously Bivol, right? But I think that's a hard one to compare just because Bivol's a lot bigger than Crawford. But it reminds me of Erislandy Lara. That fight with Canelo, that was a tough fight. Arguably, he lost.
Yep.
And one of the things about Canelo is when you give him lateral movement, it frustrates him. He's not able to plant his feet to throw those big power shots. And I think Terrence Crawford still has enough in the tank to be able to move in the spots when he needs to move. I think his jab is really good. And I don't think Canelo can out IQ him. So I think that style is what gives Canelo problems. Obviously, the size is one thing, right? Like the size and the power of Canelo. But I just don't think he's going to be able to get it off because I dare say I just feel like, you know, between being in range and I've interviewed Canelo also, right? So I've stood next to both of these guys. I would say Bud a little bit taller than him, but it's also like his physical attribute, like he's lengthier than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think that that's going to play a major role in how this fight goes. You know what I'm saying? So I think Terrence Crawford by I don't want to say UD, but maybe a split. But I think Terrence Crawford is going to win by decision.
Interesting. So to me, the one thing that Bud doesn't do tremendously, the one thing would be defense. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying now everybody a lot of guys will pick off shots on purpose as part of a game plan. A lot of times, if you've been in there, you know that once you feel somebody's power, you're like, I'll take a couple of these to.
Yep.
So maybe he doesn't do this against Canelo, but if he does fight the way he normally fights, you don't think that's going to be a bad move for him to sit there and try and pick off those heavy punches?
Man, that would be a terrible move for him. If he does that, he'll lose the fight. But I think what I've seen from Crawford is 9 times out of 10, the defensive mistakes that I've seen him make when he's gotten hurt, right? Because he's got hurt a bunch of times, right? Like Gamboa's hurt him and put him on stanky legs.
Mm-hmm.
Mean Machines hurt him and put him on stanky
well,
legs.
I'm gonna say I did a video on that. He hit him in the shoulder. That was not a clean punch, but that's a whole different story.
It felt like his legs looked a little shaky with that, man. You know what I'm saying? But Gamboa definitely stumbled him. Like
yes,
definitely,
yes.
But what I'm getting at is, I think that majority of the time I see Terrence Crawford getting hit is because he's over anxious and not respecting the guy, right? Like he's going so offensive because he's like, I know I'm a power puncher. I'm trying to hurt you, so I'm gonna come in, and regardless of if I make a mistake or not, I'll take it just to land what I can land on you. And the times where I've seen throughout his career where he was dealing with a big puncher and didn't do that, or he had to be cautious, right? Like really early on, when he fought Bradis Prescott. Remember, Bradis Prescott knocked out Amir Khan, and a big power guy. He came in boxing, everything. And just the most recent one, of course, was Errol Spence. That, to me, was the most disciplined Terrence Crawford we ever seen. He hurt Errol Spence in round 2 and didn't go for the kill shot, right? Like, he didn't go in there to try to do what he usually does. His distance, he maintained his distance the entire fight to me. He didn't go just trying to fight inside. He stayed at long range most of the time until it was, like, really safe. So I think, to me, Terrence Crawford's defensive liabilities are more so him trying to be overly aggressive, more so than just, like, lack of defense.
So you're saying that he's not going to really be put in a position to take those cinnamon bombs?
I don't think so. And if he is, he 100% loses the fight. 100% loses the fight.
That's my question: is can he take the bombs from Mr. Cinnamon? And but see, the thing with Canelo is, with Triple G and Kovalev, bash sledgehammers off his chin and he doesn't even blink. I don't think Bud can hurt him, but the ones that hurt you are usually the ones you don't see. So maybe Bud's punch placement.
Exactly. And that's what I think when I say hurt Canelo, be clear. Canelo has one of the most iron chins I've ever seen in my 20 years of watching boxing. So when I say hurt, I don't mean hurt like, you're staggering Canelo or Bud could knock him out. I don't see that as being possible. But I do see, like you said, Bud being able to land shots that are honest enough to be like, all right, I can't just walk in without regard. I got to think. I think he's going to force Canelo to think. You know what I'm saying? Not that I think Canelo will be hurt, but I think he'll force him to think. And then we saw that with Floyd, right? Like, I think Floyd landed a couple of good shots on Canelo that just made him think, right? Like, where it was like, all right, you know what I mean? I countered you enough. And that's what counter shots do. That's why I think Floyd, to me, was as successful as he was even though his power wasn't off the charts, it's just he caught you at the times when you didn't realize you were going to get caught, right? He caught you with counter shots that are like, oh, shit. It just makes you have to think a little bit more than you do. And I just think Terrence Crawford is going to force Canelo to think more than he's had to in a long time.
We'll see. We'll talk about it afterwards. I'm going with Canelo. I think Canelo is just going to be too big for him, and I believe that Terrence Crawford's defensive liabilities, I think that's going to be his downfall. I don't know if he's going to knock him out or any of that. I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't predict. I don't know, but okay, cool. So let's.
Wait, the only one last thing I want to say about the Canelo is his gas tank at the end is always questionable to me.
Okay.
I think that if you push Canelo to a certain point, especially with lateral movement, I think in the later rounds he starts to gas out now. And this is Canelo in his later years. And I'm not disrespecting Canelo because I'm a Canelo fan, right? Like I think this guy is arguably the best Mexican ever, like him and Chavez. But I'm just saying is what I've seen lately is that I think his gas tank at the end of the fight tends to get a little suspect. And I think that those are the moments that are going to ultimately determine how the fight plays out.
Yeah, and we won't even talk about the fact that even though this is a fun fight, we really should be seeing Benavidez, but that's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So, who are your top 5 pound? Doesn't have to be in order. Top 5 pound for pound right now.
Right now, I mean, the big 3 have to be in there. The big 3 being Inoue, Usyk, and Crawford. Right? That's the big 3 right now. However, I think there is a case to be made for Bivol entering the top 3. Dimitri Bivol. First of all, I thought he won the first fight. I was one of the people that thought he outboxed Beterbiev in the first fight. But the second fight, man, come on, man. What a body of work that we saw. So Dimitri Bivol is my number 4. And then number 5, I think I might have to give it to Bam Rodriguez, man.
That's a good one.
I think Bam is special. I think Bam is a very special individual. I think the ranges that he fights at, his counter shots, his feet, his power, he has a really good resume. He's destroyed legends, destroyed them. And I hope he gets that Nakatani fight. So I think Bam is probably my number 5.
Okay, that's a good 5. Who are your top 5 all time?
Pound for pound or just favorite?
Let's do pound for pound first. Then I want to hear your favorites too.
Pound for pound.
Now, what's your criteria though? Because this is a big are you just doing in the ring accolades? You doing overall career, just primes? Like, what do you look at?
I look at it's kind of a combination. It's like a pie chart of things to me where I just factor in. I factor in accomplishments. I factor in who you fought, right? Like, because one thing, and I think today's era is based on that. It's like, I'm undisputed. Like, cool. Who did you beat for undisputed?
I say that all the time. Yep.
How many people, did you get it in one shot or did you clean out the division? So, I mean, undisputed is still an accomplishment regardless, but I think there's levels to it. So I think how you did it to me plays a factor. Like how the fights went and then what level of competition that you did it against.
Okay. So who are your top 5 all time?
God, this is so hard, man. All time list is just crazy, man.
That is tough. Yeah, that's tough.
I feel like number 1 has to be Sugar Ray Robinson, right? Like, I think the record just speaks for itself, right? Like the record, when you just look at the record books, like I actually went back to watch Sugar Ray Robinson because it's like he's this mythical figure that everybody talks about and gives respect to. And when you actually watch him on YouTube, it's like, one is the power that he got. The power was just insane. But I think I also factor in how ahead of your time you were, right? Like for certain eras. Like naturally, I think, as time goes on, everyone's going to get better, right? Like humans evolve. I think we get better as people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think where he was at that time frame just lets me know and realize that, like, if this guy was around today, it would be disgusting. Like the level of power, the IQ, but plus physically he's so gifted. The range, the jab, you know what I mean? So, I'm
not sure if you know this, maybe you do, but there is 0 footage of him in his prime at welterweight. Everything we've seen was middleweight. So we didn't even see him when his record, you were talking about record, at one point he was 129-1.
Yeah.
And that one loss was to Jake LaMotta, who he kicked the shit out of 5 times.
Came back and did it. Absolutely.
Yeah. But so we haven't even seen that version of him.
Yeah.
Crazy. But go ahead.
And then God. Man, it's so tough. I think after Ray Robinson, I'm gonna go maybe Ray Leonard.
Okay.
Maybe Ray Leonard.
With that,
I think Ray Leonard is a guy that obviously, right, like speed, power, lateral movement, not afraid to mix it up.
Everything.
Pretty good chin. But the body of work, man, like, come on. We're talking about the era of the Kings, you know what I'm saying? The 4 Kings era.
Hell yeah.
And come on, man. Like this guy coming back to beat Roberto Duran in the No Mas, of course. The Tommy Hearns fight, moving up to 160 to beat Marvelous Marv. Come on, man. Like after taking time off, and I think he had an eye surgery, right? Came
He
back
did.
from
Yep.
he had an eye surgery and then came back to beat Hagler. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I just think Sugar Ray Leonard was one of those ones, man. Special guy, special talent, Olympian, all of that. So I think maybe Sugar Ray Leonard's probably my number 2. Number 3, fuck. Yo, this list is so tough, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, it's so tough. Number 3,
it's tough.
I'm struggling. Because all right, there's a couple of guys that are like, you know, it's like pick'ems. You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess Ali. I guess I got to go to Ali. You know what I'm saying? You know, special guy, right? For a heavyweight to have that level of, like, Ali reminds me of like how Kevin Durant is, right? Like we haven't seen a guy that's that size be able to move like that and dribble in that type of way.
Right.
Anybody who's 6'11" before Kevin Durant, they're slower. They're like, you know what I'm saying? They're not like, they don't have that where you can, Kevin Durant plays like a guard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a forward and / center's body. And I think that's what Ali was. He fought like a middleweight, right? Like the reflexes, his ability, you know, his speed. I wouldn't say he was the biggest guy, you know, maybe what, 6 feet, 6'1".
No,
but
Ali
I think
was 6'3".
Was he 6'3"?
Yeah, and he was actually one of the tallest back then. 6'3" was on the tall side. Yeah, he was tall. He just moved so well. Yeah.
Move like, you know what I'm saying? So I think maybe Ali, just because, you know, obviously that was to me, Ali was the guy that made me fall in love with boxing, but you know, just from a strategic standpoint, like, you know, the wars that he's had and the guys that he's beat, the resume is just insane, right?
Of course.
Joe Frazier, obviously Ken Norton, you know, he came back and got his lick back, but Ken Norton was a tough one. But, you know, George Foreman, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, the list goes on and on. So it's just like, I think maybe Ali, because it's, you know, it's one of those, like, you know, his resume is crazy. And then this is one where, like, I can't put the other guys like Willie Pep in. Like, I get it, but I don't know if I could put that in my top 5.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, I get it. But I guess from after that, I might gotta go with my guy, man. TBE. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yeah. There's an argument for Floyd
Mayweather.
Yeah, there's an argument for him being first. I mean, you could technically argue that, but
I mean, most champions in history. I think the only reason I got those other guys before him is just, I think the resumes are better, you know, not to shit on Floyd's resume, because I think he does have a really good resume. I think probably, like he says, the most champions ever, but it's also the name, like how many, like how Floyd got Pacquiao, right? Like Ali got 4 Pacquiaos on his resume, right? Like, be clear. Like, this guy's beating, like, you know what I'm saying? The top guys ever. So I say Floyd probably number 4 in my book.
The last one.
And then number 5.
I'll give you a hint.
Y'all must have forgot.
Oh, Roy.
Y'all must have forgot.
Yep. I got him 1. That's me. But nobody's done what he ever. I mean, nobody visually and nobody, but this fact that he lost all these fights later in his career, people wipe him away.
That's true. I see that. No, I see that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I think my last one, and I'm gonna throw him off. I feel like, you know, it's probably not in everyone's top, and maybe a little biased because he's my favorite heavyweight ever of all time. Lennox Lewis.
No, I'm with you.
I think Lennox Lewis is the best heavyweight of all time.
I think Lennox Lewis, if he fought Ali, would have slept him. Maybe not slept him, but would have beat him. Mainly because of the size difference. And like, there's different eras. Like you were saying, people evolve over time. Like, Ali could never looked at somebody 6'6" with that kind of. They didn't exist in the 60s and 70s. How Lennox was at that height, like that was.
Dude, I really think Lennox, again, is, like I said, it might be biased, but I think Lennox is the best heavyweight of all time. And I say that because, you know, one is he came in an era where he has a good resume. I don't think it's like a bad resume. I think he has a good resume, but it wasn't the era where it was just like, you know, Riddick Bowe ducked them to me. So there's a couple of names. There's a couple of names that he didn't get the chance to fight just by the era. But man, this guy, come on, man, the jab. Lennox Lewis's jab, being able to keep you outside. Obviously, the power speaks for itself. His punch variation, hooks, through the guard, uppercuts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Good footwork. Early Lennox Lewis boxed a lot more than late Lennox Lewis. By the time he was fighting Mike Tyson, he was a lot more stationary, just, you know, operating in mid to long range. But early Lennox Lewis was on his toes too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those wars against Holyfield, like I just feel like Lennox Lewis and the 2 losses that he has, obviously he shouldn't have got, like Hasim Rahman, but he came back and destroyed them, right? Like it wasn't even close, I think. And that's what to me makes him a great is I took these L's, but I came back and showed you they're not on my level. I think Lennox Lewis, man.
He's one of only 3 or 4 heavyweight champions to have beaten everybody he fought. You get like the play on the words, like even the ones he lost, he fought them again and beat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's one of the only. He's one of the few. I have Joe Louis as the greatest heavyweight. Not now. Again, I'm not talking about time machine matchup. If you put Joe Louis in a time machine, put him in front of Lennox will kick the shit out of him because of the size.
Yeah.
But Joe Louis has, you know, to this day holds the record for the longest reigning heavyweight champion in history, damn near 13 years. Like that, to me, nobody could fuck with Joe Louis in terms of heavyweight. But you know, it's hard because, you know, criteria are important when we talk about this kind of thing. Because some people, when I say this, think I'm talking about if they fought each other.
Right.
I think Jack Johnson's is probably the second greatest. Are you familiar with Jack at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he's 6 feet, 200 pounds. Like he would, Andrew Galata would whoop his ass, you know, if they fought. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But his accomplishments, man, he was crazy, crazy. All right, well, cool. So I guess lastly, what fight are you looking forward to the most coming up? Like, what is there one that you're looking forward to the most that you can't wait to see?
Coming up, on the schedule right now, I mean, definitely Canelo Crawford. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see this Tank Roach rematch for sure. I hope Tank and Shakur can finally get at it, man. That's what I've been wanting to see for a long time.
I don't think that's,
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I definitely want to see that. But the other one, and again, I don't know if it's like pending, but somebody said in the chat actually, Benavidez Bivol. That's that one I want to see.
Who you got?
Fuck. God. It's so hard, Marco, man. It's so hard.
Not for me.
Not for you. Because I think the styles is like maybe Benavidez.
I think Benavidez is going to do to Bivol what we thought Beterbiev would do, which he's going to walk him down. I think he's going to become Johnny Appleseed. He's going to chop and chop and chop. I think he's going to cut the ring off. I really do. I think Benavidez is a special fighter. People in the beginning, oh, he's flat-footed. He just throws. He gets hit too much. All this shit that they said about him, he keeps disproving it. And like the will he has, like that sinister smirk when you do hit him is so discouraging.
Yeah, I agree. Andre literally said that. Like he said, I hit him with my hardest punch and he smiled at me. And it just made me be like, oh, fuck. Like what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's tough because Bivol is his size, right? And I think the times that I've seen anyone give Benavidez some trouble, it's the guys that can box and use lateral movement, right? Like Caleb Plant had moments where he looked good in there. Demetrius Andrade had maybe 3 rounds or so where he was doing some work. So again, as a guy with a sharp jab like Bivol, and we know can move laterally,
But mark my words.
To me, that's one of the best fights in boxing, bro.
But mark my words here. This is what Beterbiev would cover up until the combination or the attack is over. Then he would punch. Benavidez doesn't do that. He does what you said Roach was doing he punches with you.
I agree.
I think he's going to swallow some grenades.
I'm not mad at that, man. I'm not mad at that take. Listen, that's a 50-50 for me, man. I might change my mind if you ask me next week. I don't know. That is a tough one. But that's my favorite fight. I say that's the one I'm looking forward to. I really want to see that.
Yeah, me too. Well, Naj, man, I appreciate you jumping on with me, man.
Man, thank you, Marco, man. I appreciate you taking the time for me. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, let's do it again.
Let's do it, man. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too. Peace.
Later.
All right. Give me 1 second, guys. My bad. My bad. All right, I'm back. All right. I know I missed a bunch of super chats, so I apologize. CJ Rich, appreciate you. You're the man. We already went through that. Josue, appreciate you. Oscar, you are dope. And you deserve versus Tank 2 or Keyshawn versus Stevenson, which is bigger? Roach Tank 2 is bigger. Easy. Easy peasy. Sean, appreciate you. Appreciate you. You the man. You the man again. Michael, you're the man as well. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you. Sorry I didn't get to it while we were talking, but we're back. All right. Yeah, Benavidez is no monster. He's an imposter. Ooh. Well, that's not very nice. Nor is it accurate. CJ Riz, check it out. You know there aren't any basements in Cali. It's called Smoking Up Shelf Kush. What are you guys talking about? You guys enjoy the interview? I like Naji. Cool dude. And for the most part, we have similar opinions. Like some of the stuff he was saying, a lot of it, I was like, okay. Like I'm with that. I'm with that. I ready to see how Devin going to look in his return. So am I. It's very accurate. All right. Yeah, it was cool. Great interview. We'll be checking out his channel. All right. Yeah, he's a lot more established than me. He has a lot more viewers and he's doing his thing. Dope interview. First time hearing Naji seemed he's dope. Nah, he was solid. Glad you introduced me to another solid. Yeah, man. You got any
Get the fuck out of here!
Rude. That was rude. But that's okay. You weren't raised right, obviously. E92 was not raised like a gentleman to come say blasphemous shit in my life. But that's okay. That's okay. For me, it's just I would rather hear the opinion of a fighter because I'm a fighter. Yeah, I got you. But, you can't just talk to fighters all the time. You kind of look like a Joker henchman. Huh? Can't believe all these guys haven't heard of Naji. I know. E2 got amnesia.
Y'all must have forgot.
Word up. What is this shit? Oh, he sent it to me. Okay. Roach would say there. What else we got, people? Eon, you so crazy. Eon. Chicka, Eon. Well, like he said, he started focusing on boxing last year. Well, focusing heavy on it. He's gone a long way, though. Shit. Marco, your subs should attack me. Your subs should attack me through super chats. Agreed. We got over 80 at one time. Today's live numbers. Yeah, man. I think Naji had a lot to do. Not a lot. See, now we're at 60-ish. Naji probably brought in another 20 or 30 just when people recognized him. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure if he even said he's going live with me. Sometimes people would put a post, I'm going live, and then they'll come and watch. But I got Tio. What up, E-Rock? Yo, E-Rock. My king will fuck Bivol up. What is this, Mikhail? This is you? This is the Mikhail man? All right, let's watch Mikhail. Let's watch Mikhail. Wait, where is it? Here it is. All right. Let's start it from the beginning. You don't have music, do you? No. All right. There he is. Southpaw? that bag, water bag, right? Not bad. I think your stance should be a little wider and move your head more after punches. Pretty good, though. And I want us to put together more than just 2 punches at a time. Let me see a 3 or 4 combo. Right. You're not very. I want you to be busier too on the bag. You want to build endurance, Mikhail, you got to be busier. There you go. I want to see more of that. More of that. Yeah, there's something about your stance. Your punches are good, they're crisp, but your stance is off. You got to widen your stance for sure. You got to keep it way wider. I want you to be. You seem very off balance. Not very. You seem off balance at times. Unstable on your feet. When you're hopping around, a little too much nervous energy. Try and plant your feet. Plant your feet, and all that hopping, all that nervous energy, I want that to come out at the end of your punch. See, right there was a little foot movement. But see that? You did a little movement right there, but then you lost balance and had to reset. All right. I think I get it. Pretty good. Pretty good. You heard all my critiques. Mainly work on your stance, your balance in your stance. I want to see your balance. First of all, your feet were almost parallel. One should be in front of the other one. And there should be a wider stance. Wider and not parallel. Just do that with a slight knee bend. You'll be good. It's kind of like he's used to fight. Yeah, it looked very yeah, just work on that, man. Now you look, I'll tell you though, you're skinny. What are you like? 135, 145, something like that. I would say you're about that weight. You got some good pop. Good pop for a skinny dude, for sure. Now let me tell you something. Imagine this. If you widen your stance, bend your knees, widen your stance, not make it parallel, you're going to add, I'm going to say at least 25% more power to those punches. So that'll go from having good pop to great pop to like a problem. Okay? 135. See how good I am? I'm always good at guessing people's age and their weight. You widen that stance, you're going to add another 25% of pop to that. Trust me. Just make an L shape with your stance. Don't cross your feet. He wasn't really crossing his feet. He was just, it was a lot of nervous energy. A lot of like, that's another thing too. You're all that nervous energy, keep your feet planted and save that. Bring it up through your feet, in through your gut, and into the end of each punch. That nervous energy should come out in your punches. Keep your feet planted. Yeah, never stand parallel. But and were you, Mikhail, are you a southpaw? Because it looked like you were standing southpaw. Am I wrong? Yeah, you were standing southpaw, which is fine. You know, it might be the case. Let's see if I got this one right. Something tells me you're naturally right-handed in life, but for boxing, you fight southpaw because you want to lead with your strong hand. Am I wrong? Let's see if I got that one correct. Oh, it's just the camera. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's weird. Most cameras don't do that, but some of them do that. They'll flip it. Shout out to you for showing footage. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Nah, he looked good, though. Good pop. Good pop for a lightweight. I like it. Is there any way he can help you get on Turkey's radar so maybe he'll hire you? Just message him. If everybody in here would message him every day, yo, we know this Marco Boxing. I think he'd be great for the new TKO league, blah, blah, blah. It'll work. Message him, please. Do it now. Left hand, just not as strong as right. It's, wait a sec. Oh, that's Ian. I thought that was him. Okay, bet. I'm going to need you. What? Leave Iraq alone. Leave Iraq alone. Do you guys like me interviewing people? Or would you guys prefer? That's a question. Two questions. One, do you prefer I just flow freestyle like we normally do? Or did you like the interview? Tell me that. What do you think about the press conference? I didn't really see much of it, TiVo. Keep the interviews coming. All right. Hi. Yeah, I didn't know that much about Naji, so, but I'm seeing, and it makes sense why he skyrocketed so quickly, because he probably had a pretty good following with hip hop and shit. So it was easy transition for him, because I've been doing it longer than him, and he's way ahead of me. Yeah, you do good interviews. Thank you. Nah, you know. George from Mexico. That's you. Interviews are fun because it also breaks the monotony of me like just fucking blabbing here with you guys. You know what I mean? And co-host. I'm not going to do a co-host. Yeah, the trivia. I wish I had an app to do the trivia. That'd be dope. I really like that short you put yesterday when you slowed down the fight. The short, Kalia, or do you mean I put out a full-fledged video, 8-minute video on YouTube where I broke down all of the fights? Is that what you're talking about? Because I didn't put out a short about the fight, but I put out a full-fledged video. Is that what you're talking about? We can do Kahoot. I don't know what the fuck that means. You have to read the super chats though during people. I know. I know. Would you just have to make the questions before? No, I don't. Questions come off the top. I'm like Jay-Z in the booth, off the top. Get it in one take. 1 out of third Marco interviews, 1 out of third Marco, no chaser, 1 out of third Marco then calls. Okay. 1/3. See, you writing the RD confused me. See, if you just would put 1-3, I would have got it like 1 out of third. What's he talking about? Oh, thanks, Kalia. You said it was a short, but it wasn't. Thanks. What'd you like about it specifically? I'm curious. I like hearing positive feedback and stuff that I like hearing stuff that people don't like, but I like hearing stuff that what people do like, so I can keep doing it. Who you got winning between Tio? I got Tio. Calls would be cool. Yeah, you called in once. I remember that. I was shocked because you're Jorge from Mexico, but you sounded like you're from fucking Jersey, like completely American. Jay-Z in the booth. Hey, man. Off the top with it. When I spit it. Never going to hit it. I stays committed. Never fronting, always lifting it. All right, sorry. That was stupid. Kahoot is a thing I used in school to take quizzes. It's like game tracks who comes in first. Okay. I think Barboza may give I know. I guess I'm rooting for Tio, but when I think about it, I think Barboza might give him some problems. It might be a close, kind of boring fight because Barboza is not very entertaining. I hope Tio doesn't. If he has Tio chasing him, Tio could lose. If Tio boxes and is smart and patient, he'll win. But if Tio gets impatient, kind of like with how he got against Kambosos, he might lose. Orange County, Cali. I know, but your shit says Jorge from Mexico. Do you understand how confusing that was at first? Then you call in, you're like, hello, how are you? I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, me too. Barboza's going to outbox him. I hope not. Oh, and that bag work was after a split decision loss, so my energy was angry. Oh, and one of your smokers? Okay. Okay. Do I just yeah, Kahoot is legit. Barbosa and Shakur will break records. Boring. Yeah, the tough man. All right. Jorge is Raza. Don't let him do all that. Tio Power is basic 130. Okay. Shakur would stop Barboza. Word. If you ever need a translator in an interview, I got you. All right. Bet. Yo entiendo español muy mal. All right, whatever. Yo no entiendo español. Entiendes. Entiendo is Portuguese. I understand a little Portuguese, and it's similar to Spanish, so I get confused. Marco, what's your special dish you cook? I don't really. Bud Madrimov Canelo more than likely will beat Bud. Bud Madrimov Canelo more likely, huh? Oh, who's more likely to beat Bud? I don't get it. Madrimov already lost to him. I'm confused with that question. What is one of the best things you learned from Rooney? Always, what I was telling you, always throw hard and fast punches. No pity pat bullshit. That builds your endurance and pushes you. I learned that from him. You out? I generally feel bad for Shakur. I think his hands are going to cost. Maybe. Marcos with the Spanish. Sí, señor. Sí, claro. Nah, you need black Spanish translator with the white dude. What? You know, Alberto's right. You're always trying to incite race riots.
Oh, that's racist.
I'm just kidding. What up, Sammy? Nobody hates sanctioning bodies more than Dana White. Bud struggled with Madrimov. He did. Sure did. That's why I think Canelo's going to beat him. But again, triangle theories don't always work. Big Motion, what up? Yo, Marco, what game do you like more? Fight Night, Champion, Undisputed? I really barely played either one of them, so I can't. The one that just came out, I didn't like at all. Virgil was impressive against Madrimov. Extremely. Extremely. I think Madrimov is a style that makes anyone look bad for a while. Virgil did all right towards the end. He didn't really make Virgil look too bad, but word on the street was Madrimov was sick, which if is true, shucky ducky now. Shucky ducky quack quack now. A black man taking 4 years off Spanish is racist. My best friend is Mexican. You even referring to your best friend that you have to say they're Mexican?
Oh, that's racist.
People are people, CJ. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Leave CJ alone, Alberto. Jesus Christ. CJ is a smart, intelligent, nice young man. Young to me, because he's younger than me. Madrimov frustrated Virgil in the beginning of the fight. A little bit. But Virgil started chopping. Chiggity chopping. Chiggity chopping. Oh, I got to early. I got to be in the city tomorrow by 10 a.m., which sucks now because I'm far from this bitch. I got to go to Rockefeller. I could walk to Rockefeller. CJ told me I sell oranges. Yeah, that's fucked up. Why does Alberto hate CJ? I don't know. Yeah, we are family here. Alberto's the only one who likes poking. He likes poking. And I don't mean poking the honeys. I mean poking people's nerves. Do you think Tank's stock dropped? A little bit. Not the payout, but I think his aura of invincibility was affected a wee bit. Are you watching the Canelo press conference tomorrow? Where is it? Why you think Bud looked bad versus Madrimov? What makes you feel that way? Because he was getting hit way more than we've seen him get hit. And he was getting hit a lot. That's why. And he wasn't hitting him as much. They argue who is better, Mod. Oh, it's here? Yeah, well, I might be there. We'll see. You think Bam fights Inoue in the future, 122? I don't know. Yeah, I think Shakur has a chance against Tank now. Yeah, me too. He has a chance for sure. Mark, if you take a knee at any point, even if it's not from a punch, does it still count as a knockdown? PR Combat Sports, we've been talking about that for 3 or 4 days now, and it's a very, it's not an easy answer. The easy answer, the simple answer, and the 100% legal and real answer is it's whatever the ref deems it. It cannot be a knockdown, but it could also be a knockdown. It depends on the circumstances of what happens and how the ref calls it in real time. Appreciate your true power. Shakur always more precise and deliberate than Tank. Word. Word up. All right. Maybe not deliberate. Yeah, exactly. How does Ryan versus Rolly turn out? I think Ryan wins. Maybe even stops him. I don't see Rolly. Yeah. He wrote 70 rounds according to boxing. Who landed the most punches? True. True that. True that. All right, people. I'm gonna bounce. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. And more than anything, keep it real. Peace.